security program on spreadsheets, new regulations piling up, and audit dread? It's time for Vanta. Vanta automates security and compliance, brings evidence into one place, and cuts audit prep by 82%. Less manual work, clearer visibility, faster deals, zero chaos. Call it compliance or call it compliance. Get it? Join the 15,000 companies using Vanta to prove trust. Go to vanta.com/calm.
What is the secret of getting your online audio content into the ears of your audience? Listen in and find out.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
Serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
Let's go.
This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it out.
Hello, my Dark Horse friends and family. Welcome back to your daily dose of Change My Life in 15 minutes or less learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you, well, infinitely more importantly, you are a driven entrepreneur. And you are here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And I'm here hitting you with yet another daily success episode on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur as we dive deep into success with actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game, because we already know there's no shortcut to success except for taking those daily little steps every day towards your goal. So, many of you know my story, and if you haven't, I'll just give it to you real briefly. I had a daughter way back when, in the 90s, that passed away at 18 months old, and she was on the waiting list for a liver and small bowel transplant. And during this time, I got into public speaking because I wanted to tell everyone about the pros of being an organ donor. And let me tell you, I got up in front of every single person that was willing to listen, and probably a few that weren't quite so willing to listen, to share my story about Krista and the benefits of being an organ donor. And I found I actually enjoyed being in front of audiences and feeding off the energy that they gave back as you're giving a presentation, whether it's about organ donation or anything else. And oh gosh, for 2012, I started a podcast, the Your Success DNA podcast, which ran for a little over 2 years, and I'll call it a success. I mean, on average, we did 4,000 downloads a month. So over the course of the time there, we probably did 90,000 downloads. Not too bad. Of course, it started slow and it built up, and that's did some webinars. I've done lots of speaking opportunities live and online. And over the course of the years, I've built, what you could call a pretty successful speaking platform, profile, right? I don't know if you'd call it a career, but I built a lot of this, especially of late, on the back of iTunes. Now, I'm available on all the major and a lot of the minor media platforms. Spotify is probably about 20% of my demand. And now with Amazon getting into the mix, doing podcasting, I'm starting to gain some traction there as well. But the bulk of it today has been on iTunes. And I'm still open to offline speaking if anyone's looking for a keynote speaker or presenter, online or offline. So please feel free to reach out to me. But obviously, with the current state of affairs, a lot less of that going on these days. So the power of speaking online successfully is really kind of awesome, because really, it's kind of what we do as speakers, even if it's on a podcast, because what we do and how we do it, it's really a very organic way to communicate. And it's pretty damn intimate too. And, I think personally that makes it pretty powerful at the same time. I mean, you can really build a pretty good sized business in just doing audio content alone. And a number of folks are doing it. I mean, look what Joe Rogan has done, right? But you could do that via, some full-time live type TV type show, like I'm going to be appearing on tomorrow, or you could build yourself this niche YouTube channel, and of course you could do something like this, a podcast. Really a huge business if you have, you could build a huge business if you have the chops and the drive to do it. We'll chat a little bit about that. If I go back and count from the first episode in my previous podcast all the way up to the one you're listening to now, I've probably done just about 1,000 episodes, probably a little over 1,000 episodes as of the recording of this one. Now, it doesn't count any of the special one-off episodes I've done or any of the webinars and some of the private content. I mean, and many of those old episodes are free. Many weren't free. I had a membership version going up for a while, but a lot of those are free now. Many have been archived or retired into the digital sphere. I've bounced around in and out of the top 100, even the top 50 in iTunes charts, most recently hitting number 45 in those charts and hitting in those in multiple countries on this big spinning blue globe that we live on. Now, with all that, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say I'm the best. I don't claim to be, and I'm never going to attempt to project that I am. But I have seen folks copy, right? Let's say mimic. And, that's great, right? Mimicking or imitation is the greatest form of flattery, as they say. But if you're out there trying to copy someone else that's on the top of their game, yeah, well, good luck with that. I think you should always be you. Do your own thing, and maybe, emulate, right? Model after. That's a good way to go. But I think you should always do your own thing. That way it's true to who you are, and honestly, far more fun and far less like work. But if you're copying or modeling some of those that are on the top, just be aware, you're not going to knock them off. And just like when I'd say when you make it to the top, there's going to be copycats. There's going to be copycats, and they won't knock you off. And I guess one of the questions you might ask is, well, how do I get up there? How do I maintain it? How do I maintain it? How do I stay on top? So I wanted to share a few tips that a few will know, some may, some might not, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway, right? Why not? Well, you're here, I'm here, we'll just sit down and hang out. See, I mean, that's why you're here, right? You want to hear these things. So, right, you're kind of here to, let me share some actions that you're going to take that's going to help level of your game. And if you can go out there and do it, you know what? More power to you, brother or sister. Get out there and do it. You'll find a number of people. Well, I have found a number of people that have tried things like a podcast or a YouTube channel, and they might rise up for a bit, but so many fall by the wayside. I mean, on the surface, it looks easy, and it kind of is in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of moving parts that are going on, right? And that's why you always hear me saying especially for those that are just starting out, talk about something you're passionate about. Get involved in the topic that you're way motivated by. That way, again, it feels a lot less like work. Okay, so let's get into a couple of secrets you're going to have to keep into mind if you want to be a successful speaker in the online space. Number one, it's not your voice. Let me say it again. It is not your voice. So often you listen to someone with that smooth and commanding voice and you think, wow, no wonder they're great as a speaker. I mean, they have that cliche TV or radio voice that just makes people want to listen to them. That's all deep and low and expressive sounds, that quality. Now, this can be helpful. I'm not going to lie. It could also be a hindrance. See, in the podcast space, it really could be a hindrance. The hindrance is that some folks might think that you're, putting on airs, so to speak. But again, I'm going to say, come to the microphone being you, right? And they will always see that's who you are and that your voice is just a tool that you've been given if you have a great one, or a tool you've learned to use if it's not so great, and go from there. Number two, it's not the music you play. No, it's not the amazing intros or outros or maybe the bumpers or sweepers that you use. You can go out and spend lots of money to have those made, but that's not it. Is it the content? Well, okay, I'm on the fence on this one. I do believe content is important, and certainly in the short term, the content is going to have a quick impact. But over the long term, not so much. And here's why I say that. You see, content, well, yes, it's got to be good. You'll be surprised at the fact that how little content you really need. I mean, you probably go in there thinking you need so much content. You're thinking, God, I need 3 hours worth of content. Well, here I think you're probably mistaken. You probably need far less than that. You just need good quality content. Then you can stretch it out with context and stories. And stories are important. All right, so I've told you all the things it is. I can hear you now. Okay, Tracy, what's the secret? What is the thing that's going to make this work over the long term? Well, obviously, even if you have a small amount of content, what you do need to deliver is quality, right? So even that small amount of content that you do bring and deliver, you have to think about it, the platform that you're bringing it to, right? You have to think about the context of that platform. And stop thinking about your platform as just a place to drop your content and hope that someone is going to find it. You have to think of it as, wait for it, a search engine. Now, if you're putting it on YouTube, you may be doing that. A lot of folks do. But if you're on iTunes, perhaps you're not thinking about it that way. See, iTunes, like any other platform, is really just an amazing search engine. It's like the Amazon of audio content, right? Oh, and by the way, you do know that Amazon's getting into the podcast game, right? Oh, yeah. And we already know Amazon's a huge search engine. So put that all together, and every single element of whatever it is you're putting together to present on iTunes or Speaker or Spotify or Amazon or wherever needs to be optimized. I mean, your title, your content descriptions, the program names, heck, what you call yourself and your company, the tags that go into your content, the keywords and all that magic stuff that goes into the feeds that all the platforms read and drive the machine behind the scenes. All of those need to be keyword optimized. And let's take it one step further, and here's a bonus: not just search optimized, but intent optimize. What is the intent of your potential listener when they're doing the search? Now, what search words go with that intent? See, now you're starting to feel me, right? Now, of course, you can go a little bit deeper and start digging into specific niches that narrows and focuses ways to find those specific audience. But of course, all that is needed. And of course, you need all that, but it's not really what I'm talking about here. The number one thing you need to do about making any of your programs successful is that you have to give the search, be search engine optimized. That's number one and key. Then, yeah, you're going to have to add in good content, right? You're going to have to add content that's worth coming back to. Someone needs to think after listening to a piece of your content, wow, that was pretty damn good. Let's hear what else they have to say. And then they move on to your next episode, or they go back and, start listening to your back catalog. So you need to bring some good content. No cheating on that one for sure. Be really good at what you're talking about. Don't make it up, right? Maybe something, I won't say be an expert at it, but really be passionate about it. Really be good at it. You just need to be a few days, months, or maybe even a year ahead of whoever's listening, and you're the expert to them. So be really good at what it is you're talking about. Plus, being really good at it makes it a lot easier to do, and you can do it for the long term. Now, I think another reason you really need to be focused on all this optimization, I think one of the things is so many folks in business focus on customer retention. And don't get me wrong, I think you should spend the right amount of time in this area because, as we know, it's far cheaper to keep a current customer than it is to acquire a new one. So do things to re-engage those current customers, bring them back into the fold, get them to spend some more money with you. So your current customers should be very important to you and pay attention to them. But a vast amount of your time should be spent on going out and finding new customers, new prospects. This is a place every business will find success. By bringing in new prospects through the door and turning them into customers and then turning them into raving fans, that is going to be a foundation for success. I mean, think about it. If many of your old customers, they're going to stay around for a while, but there's going to be attrition. People are going to fall off or fall out or even surpass you, right? Whatever the reason, right? It's a part of doing business. It's a part of life. So what you need to do is replace them at the top of the funnel. You need to go out there and bring them into your business. Otherwise, your business will stop growing. So Phew, all that's to say, being optimized to all the search engines, including the platforms that you're housing your content on, is going to start bringing you a continuous flow of new prospects. And those prospects can quickly start becoming your new customers. And this is the most important thing to your success in online speaking. So, I can hear some of you saying it. It's coming through my headphones right now. Tracy, it's really all about the content. And yes, if you have good content, people will probably find you. Oh, wait, how are they going to find you if you're not search engine optimized, right? Okay, maybe they will find you, but they'll find you faster if you put a little intent focus on it. What's the intention of the person looking for you? And just sounding good, right? The voice, that's not going to guarantee they're going to come or even stay, because life moves on. And just as life moves on, so do some of your customers. So the only way to guarantee to keep people coming in the front door as others are going out the back is by, right, being search engine optimized. Or you might as well just go ahead and close that front door if you're not going to be trying to bring in new prospects, and let your business slowly wither and die as the current customers seep out the back. I know when I first started doing online content and speaking, I thought if I just gave great content in a meaningful way, that was the way I was going to get the respect and the clients. And I actually expected to be respected for that. But alas, that's not how the world works. So make it easy to find you, right? Give them something worth listening to. And yeah, go ahead and polish the apple with some cool intros and outros. And, finally, hone your voice, of course. But if they can't first find you, you may as well be sitting there in the middle of the desert talking to yourself. All right. Enough about that. I think I beat that one home. You get me, right? So tomorrow we're going to chat about, I don't know. Really? I haven't really nailed down what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So go ahead and tune in tomorrow and find out. So in the meantime, get out there, run your race, get your results, and let me hear about them. Tracy at darkhorseschooling.com. Till tomorrow, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.